With an expected price tag of nearly $56 million, the three-day celebration is one of the most expensive weddings ever.
And his wedding costing up to a whopping $55 million.
They had the ship, their yacht, which has its own yacht, carting them around with their massive amounts of foam.
That is just one of many multi-million-dollar yachts that we're seeing here.
Why would you literally hire an entire island in Venice to wear this and have carpet at your wedding?
And it just goes to show you can have all the money in the world, but not an ounce of style or class.
What kind of couple celebrates their wedding with foam cannons, silk pajamas, and slippers from Amazon, while protesters gather outside begging them to stop? That's exactly what happened when Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez tied the knot in Venice. The third richest man in the world and his ultra-glamorous bride threw a celebration so over the top, it made headlines for all the wrong reasons. But underneath the yacht parties and celebrity selfies, there's a messier story, one that includes leaked love texts, rumors of betrayal, and a surprising amount of Amazon slippers. Let's break down what really happened behind the scenes of the wedding that everyone's talking about. The wedding was held on San Giorgio Maggiore Island, right in the middle of Venice. It was supposed to be beautiful, elegant, maybe even tasteful. Instead, it turned into a flashy circus that shut the city down. Guests were brought in by private water taxis, not just friends, but billionaires, reality stars, and Hollywood royalty. Kim Kardashian, Oprah, Tom Brady, even Orlando Bloom showed up looking like he'd just stepped off a movie set. Inside the party, it only got weirder. Everyone was told to wear silk pajamas. Women received cheap Amazon brand slippers in their gift bags, while the men got velvet ones worth over $100. Classy. The whole thing felt more like a product placement than a wedding. The vibe, less eternal love and more high-budget influencer retreat. But here's the part that really sparked outrage: the estimated price tag. Sources say the whole event cost at least $50 million. Meanwhile, just a few blocks away, locals were protesting Venice's housing crisis. Many called the wedding tone-deaf and obscene. And while the couple partied until 4 a.m. with DJs and silk-themed dance-offs, critics outside wondered, how did we get here? That's when people started looking closer at Lauren Sánchez. Before the private jets and luxury yachts, Lauren Sánchez was best known for reading the news. She started her career as a local TV reporter in Albuquerque, then made her way to Los Angeles. She had the looks, the charm, and clearly, some serious connections. Her first high-profile relationship was with NFL star Tony Gonzalez. They even had a child together. Later, she married Patrick Whitesell, one of the most powerful talent agents in Hollywood, and the two were together for almost 15 years. That marriage helped Lauren level up fast. Suddenly, she was seen at all the right parties, landing high-profile gigs and flying helicopters for fun. With Patrick's influence, she went from anchoring entertainment news to becoming a staple in elite circles. But that wasn't enough. Rumors suggest Lauren started seeing Jeff Bezos while she was still married to Patrick, and while Jeff was still with his wife, Mackenzie Scott. The timing raised eyebrows. Both couples divorced around the same time in 2019. By then, Jeff and Lauren's relationship was no longer a secret. Some called it a love story. Others saw it as a power play. Either way, one thing was clear: Lauren Sánchez didn't just marry rich. She leveled up from millionaire to billionaire to richest man on earth. But that's only part of the story, because once their affair became public, things got even messier and more embarrassing. And what happened next would leave even Jeff Bezos red-faced. The relationship between Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez didn't just go public, it exploded. In early 2019, National Enquirer published leaked text messages that left everyone stunned and cringing. These weren't just flirty messages, they were awkward, overly romantic, and painfully intimate. But these messages didn't leak by accident. Reports say Lauren actually sent them to her own brother, Michael Sánchez. Then he allegedly turned around and sold them to the tabloids. The whole thing spiraled. Jeff Bezos launched a private investigation. He later accused the Enquirer of blackmail, claiming they threatened to release even more photos, including a censored bathroom selfie where he was reportedly wearing nothing but a towel and his wedding ring. But the damage was done. The texts went viral. Late-night hosts mocked them. Social media roasted both Jeff and Lauren. What was supposed to be a powerful new romance suddenly looked more like a soap opera. And while the internet laughed, Jeff and Lauren moved forward, richer, messier, and even more determined to live out their billionaire fantasy. But as Lauren planned her over-the-top wedding, comparisons to someone else started rolling in. and that someone did not throw a foam party. Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, took a very different path after the divorce. While Lauren and Jeff were vacationing on super yachts, Mackenzie was quietly giving away billions. Since 2019, she's donated over $19 billion to more than 2,000 nonprofit organizations. That's not a PR stunt. That's real money going to real people. Meanwhile, Lauren and Jeff were busy planning one of the most expensive weddings in modern history, while Venice literally protested outside. Activists held up signs calling the wedding shameless and wasteful. Some locals even called it a slap in the face, as the city struggles with poverty, housing shortages, and the effects of over-tourism. Even the gifts became a joke. The women got generic black Amazon slippers, while the men received expensive custom pairs. People online asked, did Bezos just clear out the company's warehouse for party favors? And let's not forget the foam party. Before the ceremony even began, Jeff and Lauren threw a massive champagne-soaked bash on a $500 million yacht. Covered in bubbles, surrounded by celebrities, they partied like the world wasn't watching. But it was. And it wasn't impressed. More than anything, the whole wedding started to feel like a brand, a performance, a curated Instagram reel with no soul. But while critics blasted the excess, gossip fans were watching something else unfold, a strange connection forming between guests that no one expected. The wedding may have been about Jeff and Lauren, but the real buzz came the next morning, when Orlando Bloom was spotted walking through Venice with a very familiar face, Sydney Sweeney. They looked tired, disheveled, hungover. Sydney, wearing dark glasses and an oversized outfit, looked like she had just wandered out of a fashion shoot and into an espresso emergency. Rumors spread fast. Was something going on between them? Had they left the party together? Fans online couldn't stop speculating, especially since Orlando had just split from Katy Perry, and Sydney had recently ended her engagement. But here's where it got even juicier. Reports also claimed Sydney was seen dancing at the reception with Tom Brady, and also with Brooke Snyder, who had just gone public with her own breakup. It was starting to look less like a wedding and more like a matchmaking festival for the rich and famous. Even Ellie Goulding performed live. Yes, the singer of lights, at a wedding, in a palace, for billionaires. Meanwhile, back at the Silk party, Jessica Alba apparently tore up the dance floor. Kris Jenner was seen twirling in designer pajamas, and Usher showed up in a trench coat that had people online asking if he got lost on the way to Fashion Week. At this point, the wedding had turned into something way bigger than just two people in love. It became a full-on Hollywood production, complete with luxury, drama, awkward outfits, and just enough mystery to keep everyone watching. But that wasn't the end of it, because the internet still had one last target, and this time, it was Lauren herself. As the confetti settled and the celebrities sailed home, the internet shifted focus, and Lauren Sánchez became the main target. A single photo posted during the wedding weekend lit a firestorm. In the background, two women stood still, dressed in what looked like old-fashioned maid uniforms. Their expressions, blank, uncomfortable. Commenters instantly tore it apart. People said it looked like a scene from The Handmaid's Tale. One person wrote, "Why would Lauren even post this?" Another added, "It's giving dystopian cosplay." Others questioned whether the entire wedding was just a huge rebrand attempt for Lauren, an effort to go from TV personality to full-on social media icon. But if this was her launch, it didn't go smoothly. Critics called the whole thing tone-deaf, wasteful, and out of touch. The silk party, the slippers, the maids, the outfits, it all felt like a billionaire fantasy built on bad taste. And then came a wave of even deeper backlash. Some online users blamed Lauren's rise on gold digging. A few went further, throwing around the tired stereotype of a Latina stealing your man. But not everyone agreed. Plenty of Latina women quickly shut that down. One comment read, "No babe, that's not it. No one wants Bezos. And us Latinas don't claim her." Others said the criticism wasn't about race. It was about the message. The image of a woman who used her relationships to climb higher, flaunted wealth with no awareness, and seemed happy to live in a bubble of foam and filters. Was it ambition or opportunism? Empowerment or entitlement? There was no clear answer, just a lot of noise. And Lauren, true to form, didn't say a word. She posted, she posed, she danced. She married the currently third richest man in the world. But beneath all the sparkle, not everyone was clapping. Lauren Sánchez didn't just marry a billionaire. She married into a spotlight so bright it exposed everything: the privilege, the power, and the public's frustration with both. A $50 million wedding in a city struggling with poverty. silk slippers handed out while activists begged for help, and a couple who smiled through it all, like nothing else mattered. But maybe that's the point. In a world where image is everything and billionaires can do whatever they want, this wedding wasn't just a party, it was a performance. One that showed us how far some people will go for luxury and how far removed they really are from the rest of us. Let us know what you think in the comments, Dot. And if you want more deep dives into celebrity chaos, hit subscribe, because this story might be over, but the next scandal is always right around the corner. See you in the next one.